Hello मेरे प्यारे बच्चों, welcome back. I know exams are just around the corner and you're all working so hard. So today, let's very quickly tackle one of the most important chapters, the Constitution of India. What is it really? Well, just think of it as the ultimate rule book for our country. And I promise, by the end of this short session, you'll know exactly why it's such a big deal. Chalo, let's begin.
Okay, just for a second, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're playing cricket with your friends, but there are no rules. No one agrees what's a six, what's an out. Or what about kabaddi? Just players running everywhere, making it up as they go. It would be complete chaos, right? A total mess. See, that's the thing. Every single game, doesn't matter if it's big or small, needs a clear set of rules that everyone agrees on.
So if a simple game needs rules, what about our country? Our India, with more than 140 crore people. That's the biggest game of all, isn't it? So of course, it needs a rule book too. And that, my dear students, is exactly what this beautiful book is. The Constitution of India. It's the master rule book that has all the rules that we as a country have agreed to live by.
Alright, so here's our plan for today. Super simple. First, we'll look at what this ultimate rule book is all about. Then, we'll meet the amazing dream team who created it. After that, we'll dive into the super important stuff, our rights and duties. We'll also see how this book is still changing and growing. And finally, of course, some quick exam revision. Ready? Let's go!
Okay, first things first, our country's ultimate rule book. You have to wonder, why does a huge country like ours, with 140 crore people, need one single set of rules? Let's find out.
So, let's get to the main point. What is a constitution? This is a very common question, so listen carefully. Simply put, it's a document, a special document, that has all the basic principles and laws for a country. It basically does two big things. It sets up the government and tells us, the citizens, what our rights and duties are. That's it. Simple, right?
But why do we need it? Why is it so important? Well, think of it like this. First, it creates our government. You know, the legislature that makes laws, the executive that puts them into action, and the judiciary that protects them. It makes sure no one part gets too powerful, which is super important. And then, and this is the best part for us, it clearly tells us our rights, that's what we get, and our duties, that's what we give back. It's a two-way street.
Okay, so we have this amazing, super important rule book. But who wrote it? Who are the people behind it? Well, it's time to meet the dream team that created it.
So this huge job was given to a group called the Constituent Assembly. And believe me, this was a team of India's absolute best minds. Around 300 people from all over the country, from different regions, different communities, you name it. And you know what's really amazing? This assembly had 15 women in it. At that time, this was a huge deal, making sure their voices were heard right from the very beginning.
And let me tell you, this was not a one-week project. No way. They started in December 1946 and worked for almost 3 years. Can you imagine? 3 years of debating, discussing, writing every single word. Finally, on November 26, 1949, it was all done. But we started following it on January 26, 1950. And what do we celebrate on that day? Exactly, Republic Day. So now you know why.
Now, inside this amazing team, there's one name you absolutely positively have to remember for your exam, okay? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was the chairman of the drafting committee. Think of him as the main architect, the person who laid out the blueprint for our Constitution. His role was just so crucial. All right, so we know who wrote it and how long it took. Now let's get to the juicy part, the actual heart of the Constitution. What are the main ideas? The rules that really matter to us every single day.
And here's a super cool fact that most people don't know. Our Constitution isn't just a boring book of rules. No, it's actually a work of art. Look at this. The original one was written by hand with these beautiful drawings showing our history. These pages here, for instance, they're introducing our fundamental rights. These are the promises made to you and me, and directive principles, which are like the goals our country wants to achieve.
Let's make this super simple. Think of it as a balance. On one side, you have your rights. This is what you get. Things like the right to equality, the right to freedom of speech, the right to education. On the other side, you have your duties. This is what you give, like respecting our flag and constitution, protecting our country, and taking care of our environment. See? Get and give. It's all about balance. And where do we find all these big ideas in one place? Right at the start. In the preamble. The preamble is like the introduction or the summary of the whole book. It's the heart and soul. It lays out the big dream for India, a country where everyone has justice, liberty, equality, and lives together like a family. So powerful.
So you might be thinking, sir, this book is more than 70 years old. How is it still useful for us today with our smartphones and Instagram? Great question. And the answer is what makes our Constitution so cool. It's a living document. It's not some old, dusty thing stuck in the past. It can actually change and grow with us.
So how does a book live and grow? Well, it's through something called an amendment. It's a fancy word for change or update. It's a simple process, really. When people feel a change is needed, a proposal is made in the Parliament. They debate it, discuss it, and if enough people agree, ta-da, the Constitution gets updated. It's literally like getting a software update for your phone, but for the whole country.
And these updates are a really big deal. For example, the whole Panchayati Raj system we have in villages, that was added later. And you know your right to education? That actually became a fundamental right because of an amendment. Even something as simple as being able to fly our flag at home, that came from an update, a new understanding of our rights. So you see, it's always changing for the better.
Okay, bacho, we've learned so much. Now it's revision time. Let's try some exam-style questions. And remember, tension nahi lena. Don't stress, you know all this stuff already.
All right, here's a very common one-mark question. Be careful and read it properly. Who was the chairman of the Constituent Assembly? Notice I said Constitutional Assembly, not the drafting committee. Think about it for a second.
And the answer is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And here's a super easy trick to remember this. Dr. Rajendra Prasad later became our first president. So, for your exams, please remember this clearly. Dr. Ambedkar was the head of the drafting committee, but Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of the whole Constituent Assembly. Don't get them mixed up.
Okay, next one. This is a very popular long answer question. Why is our Constitution called a living document? We just talked about this, right? Try to remember the key points.
Okay, here's how you should write the perfect answer. Point number 1. It's called a living document because it is not fixed or rigid. It can be changed through amendments. Point number 2. This ability to change allows it to adapt to new situations and the needs of the people. Basically, it grows and evolves right along with our country. Easy.
And as we finish, I want to share this beautiful quote from Dr. Rajendra Prasad. He said that just having a great constitution is not enough. To make it work, we need to be willing to respect what other people think, to compromise. And that's such an important lesson, not just for running a country, but for our own lives, right?
And that's it. That was our super quick revision of the Constitution. You've done the work. You understand the basics perfectly now. You are ready. You've totally got this. Now go and rock that exam. All the best, mere pyare bachcho.